All right, I'll give you guys some injury updates to start. Samson, Taekwon, and Gould won't practice today, but all three of those guys are progressing really well. So we'll see how the week goes. Just starting off, looking at Pittsburgh, obviously a very talented football team going on the road in a hostile environment. Got a lot of respect for their players, their coach. I think they do a phenomenal job. So we're looking forward to the opportunity to go on the road, though.
Shane, I saw Magaz post about his dad, losing his dad. I guess how are you all trying to just help him through ups and downs?
Yeah, anytime you lose someone you love, especially a father, obviously it's very tough on any human being. So we're here for him to support him and just thoughts and prayers with him during this time.
Did you care about individual awards?
I mean, team awards are better, personally, but yeah.
Yeah. You guys have faced some tough quarterbacks this year. Give me your assessment on who y'all have been Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, I mean, one of the best to do it for sure of all time. So still can throw the crap out of it, makes really good decisions. So we got to do a great job, with our coverages on the back end and our pass rush because he can still do it at a high level. So we just got to be ready to go.
What do you feel you've, if anywhere, improved as a head coach in this year?
I think just being more well-rounded in every aspect of a head coach, all the little things that come up during the day, checking in on the training room more often, being around the defensive guys a little bit more, just little things like that. I think I've looked at, in the offseason, just trying to be more involved. Obviously, I'm heavily involved in the offense, but I think there's obviously more to it as a head coach. So just doing all those little things, that a head coach needs to do.
You were Rhodes salute service nominee, and before that, I know you got busy, but were you aware of kind of what he does?
Yeah, I mean, I think he does a tremendous job with that stuff, and I think that's a huge honor, the salute to service, all the men and women that, fight for our country, and for him to be nominated for that award, I think is tremendous for our football team and everything. So it's just a tremendous honor for him.
Jim Bob was telling us yesterday, one of the most validating and gratifying things for him is when you guys are debating on play design and just collaborating and figuring out how something is going to work. What's that like for you? Because you're the play caller, you can call play and it works, and that probably immediately works for you. But that kind of stuff, what does that mean?
I think it's a great process. I think, we got a lot of really good coaches. Obviously, Jim Bob does a phenomenal job with the offense, and Alex Tanny and Tommy and Tony and Reggie and DeAndre and all our assistants. You get a couple sets of eyes on certain things, and it's like, hey, shoot, look at this. And, man, if we tweak this just a little bit, this could be better. And I think it's a great blend, and I think it's great chemistry in that room because we're always trying to figure out the best way to do it. And when you got guys in there that are smart and know what they're doing, it makes it a lot of fun. So it's been really fun.
I think you knew coming in that you had a good offensive line, but you did have, new pieces and new places, and Branden coming back, obviously. How did it come together so fast?
Well, I think, like you said, Braden's been here for a while. Quentin's been here. Obviously, Bernie's been here. And then getting, Board in there and Gonzalez, getting them going in the spring. I always go back to the chemistry of those guys being the tight-knit group that they are, and Tony just does a phenomenal job with those guys and holding them accountable and making sure everyone's on the same page. I think that's been a big part of it, you know what I mean? And those guys love each other, and you can feel it inside the building, outside the building, getting together. That team chemistry, that bonding, that they do here and outside the building has just been tremendous, and I think that's a huge part of it.
How is the board leading playing right now? It seems like he's really shining.
Yeah, he's rolling pretty good right now, and so we got to continue that each and every week. But he's locked in his preparation and making sure he's all over it in the walkthroughs and practice. So when he gets to game days, he's seeing the looks. We've put him through those situations, and he's operating at a high level.
What leads you guys to be at a premium when you go into a big environment like Pittsburgh with all the noise?
Communication's got to be at a premium for sure. I think handling the noise, especially on third down, and making sure we're getting out of the huddle, making sure the calls are correct. If we're checking stuff at the line of scrimmage, making sure we're all over that stuff because it's hard when you go on the road with the noise. You got to make sure you operate, and obviously we got to put them through that in practice with crowd noise and put them in that environment as much as we can. So yeah, the communication's got to be at a premium.
What's Jim Bob's strength or trait that sticks out to you?
I think his detail, I mean, he's one of the most detailed people I've ever been around. Just every little thing, looks, tendencies, you name it. I mean, he's got an archive of clips. I mean, we all got archives, but this guy's got, Jim Bob's got archives and archives of anything and everything that he saves. I might have to get his locker at some point. But it's phenomenal, the way he sees it and the detail that goes into it and the preparation going into practice and into game plans and how he sets up the meetings has just been tremendous.
Shane, what do you learn about Branden Smith, like the person? Who's the guy who plays a grown man sport, violent game, but had to come with the team last year and face some things and then come back on the other side of it?
Yeah, I think just the mental toughness that he's got. I think obviously he went through some things, as we all know, last year, but to be able to bounce back from that and to support, that his teammates gave him. Obviously, I'm sure he's got great support at home with his wife and his kid. Just the mental toughness, and he's in a really good spot right now, and he's playing at a high level, so it's good to see.
Shane, when you talk about a championship team, what would you describe maybe as like the DNA of the championship team offensively?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think getting takeaways on defense is good. Being multiple, being aggressive defensively is huge. I think the complementary football on all three phases is a huge part of it. You know what I mean? And we've talked about that earlier, but getting the takeaways, and then when we do get the takeaways, going and scoring on offense with it is a huge part of it. Being balanced on offense, being able to do multiple things, but being able to do the run and pass really well when the game's on the line. You go into game plans with, hey, here's kind of the vision how the game might play out, and maybe you have to flip course throughout a game, and you got to make sure you're able to do both really well when the time's needed.
You talk about the takeaways. Takeaways are good, turnovers are bad, and you guys work on ball security. But to have it at this level of the ball security, is that unusual to you, or is it just guys being on point?
I think guys are locked in. I mean, we try as much as we can as coaches, and I'm sure all 31 other times besides us talk about it. We show the clips in meetings. You practice it. You harp on it all the time. And it's just a huge point of emphasis, you know what I mean? And just kind of getting that in their mindset of like, hey, we got to get the takeaways, but we also got to protect the ball when we're going through traffic. We talk about our 5 points of ball security all the time, and same thing on defense, ripping that ball, stripping, run, reach, violently attacking the ball on defense. It's constantly being talked about, but obviously you got to go execute it on Sundays.
Do you endorse the idea that that's maybe the most determining factor in the game is giveaway, takeaway?
It's a huge part of it. I mean, the win percentage when you win the turnover battle, I want to say, is around 74% of your games are won or lost in the turnover battle. So obviously a huge point of emphasis.
Daniel went on Pat McAfee show and he's talking about going over plays with you like during the game. He's like, yeah, Shane always tells me this is going to go for 15 or 20 or a touchdown, like pretty much every time. Have you always been wired like that? Because he was saying it gives him and the rest of the team confidence to know, like, okay, well, he just has this much belief in what we can do. Yeah,
I think it's a confidence level in our guys. But anytime, I think everywhere I've been, I've always felt confident going into games and with whoever's out there and going making plays. And obviously you put in the work during the week to try to set your guys up for success. And when you get certain looks and you got them, you got to take advantage of them. And I got a lot of trust and faith in our guys to go execute it. And that's probably why I'm so, positive and confident about plays.
A lot of JT's runs this year, it looks like Mo's been kind of doing a really nice job. What have we seen out of him as a blocker this year?
Yeah, I mean, he's been tremendous. I think he probably gets overlooked a little bit because, Tyler gets all the catches and he gets his catches here and there minimal, but he's a guy that's in the trenches, that does his job, works his tail off. Obviously been around here for a long time, a staple, but the physicality brings at the line of scrimmage in the run game and in the protection game. It's just been phenomenal. I mean, we're very fortunate to have him.
Shane, you've given up a lot of yards on defense, which no one loves, but I'm looking at you're 6th in scoring defense. How do you square it all? I mean, you're good with it. I assume you're 7-1. So, just what are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, what is the worst uniform in the league? Yeah, I think obviously keeping the points down is a huge part of it. That's a big part of it. I mean, if you're keeping the points down and you're scoring points on offense, you got a chance to win, a lot of games. And I think our defense is doing a good job at taking the football away too. You know what I mean? So I think that's part of it.
Shane, a couple more. Your offense is scoring a lot off the takeaways as well. Is there a key to coming out on the field quickly and kind of just taking advantage of this?
Yeah, I think so. You always want to start fast. I mean, every team in this league wants to start fast, and so you try to take advantage of the opportunities that you get early and often in games, to get leads. And we know that some games it's not going to play out like that all the time, but you try as hard as you can to do that. But yeah, I think it goes back to the complementary football. I think it's that the mindset of, hey, when we get a takeaway, we got to go do something with it. And whenever we get the ball, we're trying to score points. And our team's got that mindset right now, and we just got to continue that.
Shane Steichen has been locked in, it seems like, every game this season. Take us through that. Where's that come from? Leadership of the guys, but it seems like every game they're ready to go.
Yeah, I mean, I say this all the time, but the separation in this league is in the preparation. Like how you prepare Monday through Saturday, ultimately dictates how you play on Sunday. And I think our guys have done a tremendous job preparing each and every week. Don't get complacent with anything because we know, like I've said before, it's a week-to-week league, and we got to come ready. I mean, we're going to play a hell of a football team on the road in a hostile environment, so we got to be ready to roll.
And I know that Anthony still has a couple more weeks on IR. His surgery last week, how does that affect or maybe solidify what his timeline is to try to get back?
Still don't have a timeline. I know he's, doing well. Just obviously praying for a healthy recovery.
Jalen Jones.
We'll see how the week goes, but he's progressing really well. Yeah.
Last one here.
I think it was Andrew and Fitz's podcast, and he said he remembers going through the pre-draft process and you and him shooting hoops in Cameron Indoor. What do you remember about that experience and the person you knew then versus the guy you knew now?
That was one of his things we had to get done. So when I called him, we went out there, and obviously you send him the mini playbook and you go through the stuff, be ready to roll. And I said, but you got one real job. Make sure we get into that Cameron Indoor so we can play horse. And he said, all right. And so we got there, and we did the workout. And I said, you get that thing set up? He's like, yeah, I got it. So we got in there and shot around a little bit, and then we went in and talked ball a little bit, and obviously just killed all the stuff we sent him. Didn't miss anything. Very cerebral. Watched game tape with him. He was phenomenal, in that process.
Was there a point in the evaluation, like, okay, can he get me on Cameron Indoor? Is that like, okay, can this guy solve problems? Who's he not?
Yeah, absolutely. That's what I said. That was one of the main things. Like, you got to get us in there. You know what I mean? You're the starting quarterback there. Let's get that done. And sure enough, I mean, the football facility is right next to Cameron Indoor, so sure enough, he got it done, and he passed the test with flying colors.